and welcome to a premiere episode of the SuperGen Podcast. As always, I'm Alex, joined by Andy.
Yo.
Ryan.
Hi, I'm Daisy.
And Brian.
Hello.
So this week,
Wow.
minimal on the...
Just spam the GameCube controller like, wow. In Mario Party.
That made
why that
Double
game was
Dash
so good.
and Mario Party like some of the best games. I think in the GameCube version, it was Mario Part 6 or 5. You had to buy the taunt, like using stars that you used, like earned by playing the game.
They wanted you to earn
You had to
that.
buy each player's taunt, so you could have like only the players that you actually use.
Now wait,
their taunt unlocked.
we didn't have a topic of the show, but I got one now. On the GameCube, when you start a game, but you hold the Z button, it's like,
Yeah.
instead of the actual GameCube thing, that thing deserves its own like documentary.
No, we have plenty of topics for the show.
All right. For future one.
Number one on my list. This is a low-key a follow-up from a previous episode. So AMC announced their streaming service, AMC Premiere, is launching, and apparently the season, like the new season of The Walking Dead, you can watch the premiere on AMC Premiere with no advertisements if you subscribe to their new service. So this is like marks, I guess, another major like media publishing company putting their stuff out there so you don't need cable to buy it.
Yeah.
Can you watch it with advertisements
Cable,
for free?
I feel like cable is slowly dying a slow and painful death.
I think
So-
cable's already dead. It's just
Yeah.
hasn't realized it
Well,
yet.
first of all, does anyone still watch The Walking Dead here?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Andy still watches The Walking Dead. Okay.
I mean,
Only
I'm
the
not
Talking
caught up
Dead.
though. I'm in like the middle of the last season before this new one's coming.
So
out.
you're further than I would say anyone else on this panel.
Probably,
But
yeah.
is this enticing to you? Do you want to get AMC
Here's the
Premiere?
thing. Most of AMC shows like Mad Men and like Breaking Bad and like all these other shows are already on Netflix, so you can watch all of them anyway. So if you have Netflix,
Fear the Walking Dead, the classic.
Fear the Walking Dead. I don't know if Fear the Walking Dead is on Netflix. Is it?
The season 1 was, because that's
Okay.
where I watched the majority of
Okay,
it
I think
before
so.
I got
I think
bored.
you're right because I haven't watched that yet, and a lot of The Walking Dead is on there. Not the most recent seasons, but so for me, it's just like I don't know. It might be just. It just depends on how much it is, because like HBO now is worth it because I watch like 4 shows on HBO.
Right.
How much does that cost?
It's like 15.
It's 15 a month, and the movies
all
alone. The movies alone are worth it.
Exactly. The movies alone are worth it, and then like between Game of Thrones and
Silicon Valley?
Westworld.
Question mark?
Like Westworld is excellent if you guys haven't seen it.
Okay.
Westworld
That's
is
good.
amazing. And the Young Pope is amazing.
I haven't watched that.
So there's a lot of really good shows on HBO.
I was a
but
fan of
I don't know
Boardwalk
about,
Empire.
Boardwalk Empire is
That was
good.
really good.
Yeah, AMC
underrated.
to me does not have a lot of like
That's the problem.
active shows
That's the
right now
problem.
for
they have
this.
great shows, but I've seen them. I would have to be into multiple different shows to pay that much for another one of those.
And then why I wanted to talk about this week is, I guess this being the follow-up from a previous conversation we had about piracy. So does this help piracy? Because famously, Game of Thrones was super difficult to get. You just couldn't get it without having a subscription to, cable and HBO on top of that. And then they said, well, if you have Apple, I guess we'll give it to you. And then finally they've just opened up. And I think that now that there is an easy way, the ease of access is there to legitimately watch the show. A lot more people are paying to watch the show than we're paying when it was so hard to get. There were so many barriers to entry.
Yeah,
Right.
we have it on our Roku. So
Yeah, and again, I think this depends on the price of the service too, because like HBO Now was like really pushing it $15 a month. All these other services like Netflix are doing it for like 10. And they have huge catalogs of stuff. That just the nice thing that HBO has is all the new HBO content that they're pushing out right now. And so if AMC can compete with that, but
Well, I mean, they've got Better Call Saul.
yeah,
They've got The
Which is
Walking
good.
Dead,
That's a great
which
show,
will
too.
certainly both be on that. Those are like flagships of AMC,
Right.
Like new content that's being produced right now.
Yeah.
So those are both certainly
Those are
on
both
there.
excellent shows.
But yeah, does this help their piracy thing in some
think
way,
it
or
does.
is there not enough content? Is it not an HBO? It's not that level. It's not that level.
I think on some level for sure it definitely helps because I know a lot of people who only pirate things because they can't access them in any other way other than paying for cable or something, which is just ridiculous in some of those situations, because
I know, crazy thought. Ooh, pay for cable.
It is crazy at this point because I already pay almost as much as I used to pay for cable for all these other services that I have, and if I can't watch your show and you're not on one of those services right now, fuck you, man. Like, I want to watch your show.
Yeah, you get...
I'm already paying like $60 a month.
In all reality, it's like you get to pick the content when you want to watch it. You can watch content sequentially. Advertisements are much more front-facing, if they exist, in services like this. And not only that, but it's organized and it's clean. I mean, TV is just like, their interface is famously just like terrible, where it's like
the Xbox One's interface.
You have like channel 1 through 600, and how many of those are just like things that you're not actually watching or can't watch, so it's just disorganized, it's disjointed, it's confusing, it's, complex, and then there's all these advertisements that just feel thrown in and you're not really sure
and that's
when you're going to be consuming the content.
That's a big part of it. You're paying however much for cable, and you're watching the show, and you're watching ads, and then like we've got all these other services that you pay for, and you can just
you can pay the pay the extra to not have ads, or just not have ads at all.
People don't want that anymore. People want to pay to not have ads anymore. That's just like all of these services have.
One, they still have product placement within the show, so it's not like your companies are out there like, oh, how are we going to advertise?
Totally different thing.
And you still have advertising out IRL, like in the real world where people are going out and living their lives. Right. So
is that where that happens?
Will this,
I don't understand the concept.
Advertisements from Google and Facebook and all these other companies that are doing like extremely targeted advertisements towards people as it is. Like it's not like you can't get advertisements, especially on the internet. The internet is a huge den of advertisements at this point. Like everything is shifting from cable to just internet media consumption,
right. Well, and the same people are still making the content, so it's not as if TV is dead. It's just cable as a delivery service is dying.
Yes.
And they need to do something big. They need to make it affordable, or make it so you can select certain things, or make it so it's more organized at the very least and clean.
Very related note, Google is starting a service, YouTube TV, which is a whole bunch of these different TV channels. Yeah, a whole bunch of these different TV channels. You'll pay less than what you would normally pay for cable, and you still have actual access to these TV channels as if you were watching them on cable. It's just an internet streaming service instead of having.
So it's like live on YouTube.
Yeah, it's live on YouTube. So you're basically streaming AMC or Sci-Fi or whatever, or the Cooking Channel or whatever. All of these major channels are on there too. Like it's really good. I feel like that's going to replace cable for a lot of people.
Aren't they going the Netflix route too? And they actually have like YouTube original shows as well.
They do.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they've been doing that.
They've
for
had
a while.
YouTube since they launched Red. Yeah, what 3-4 years ago now?
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's going to be part of that streaming service.
It is. They actually have like their own YouTube Red channel that they'll be showing shows on. So. So that'll be like a constant stream of stuff that you can watch there too. But
I don't know what it is about the YouTube Red originals, but like even content creators that I really love, like Rhett and Link, and I think like Rooster Teeth had to deal with them and stuff like that. It seems like the content that gets put out because of YouTube Red is not something that I want to watch.
Agreed.
And I don't know if it's because they want it to be longer form and that those are people that are not used to producing longer form content, or what it is. I haven't put like my finger exactly on.
I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that they are not having the same level of control that they normally do when they make their own YouTube videos. You know? Because I feel like they have these producers that are producing like they're used to producing like reality television, and then they get these YouTube creators in there.
But why? I completely like see that point that is a possibility that YouTube's producers are like that. But why can people like Rocket Jump, Freddie Wong's studio, go to Hulu and make an original TV series that I love? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's something that Hulu paid to produce, and certainly they had their hands in it in some way. Yeah. They didn't give them entire creative freedom, although they probably had a lot.
I think that's exactly why. I think it's because YouTube is choosing the wrong people to make these shows, as opposed to like Netflix and their Netflix original series and movies. They have excellent production, and then there's Hulu with their like whole TV shows that they create from the ground up. Like they just have the right people producing these things. It's not just the YouTube creators creating their own thing, but they have the right people backing them and creating something much bigger than anything they've ever made before.
Yeah. What was the other one? What was the Netflix? They had a YouTuber that they tried to like cash in on.
I think
they did Smosh, I think.
Or
Smosh. Like
they did like Fred.
Oh my god. They picked
bad.
the most cancer of YouTube.
Yeah, that was terrible.
What's the other? Haters Back Off. Like that was like a Netflix original. Oh my gosh. I've seen the thumbnail and I was like, you know what? Okay. I create content on YouTube. I create content on the internet. Like this is kind of making it. You know what I mean? Like having a huge entity like Netflix say, we want you to produce content for us. All right, I'll watch an episode, Yeah. And it was not targeted at me, I don't feel like. That's I feel like it was like well-produced content, but I don't know what the audience is for it, on Netflix. Like, I guess their parents maybe subscribe to Netflix or something like that. But it's not something that I would sit down and say, I'm deciding if I want to subscribe to Netflix. Yep, Haters Back Off. I got to have that. You know what I mean?
Sure. There's a wide
like some of their other
people.
Netflix originals.
Yeah, there's a wide variety of people who watch Netflix shows, and there's a lot of stuff on there that I'm just not into, And like, there's shows that I know are excellent that they make that I'm just not into, like Orange is the New Black. Like I know that's an excellent show. I'm just not into it. But then there's other stuff that they make, like House of Cards, that I just love. I'm just so into that, and so yeah, I think they just know their audiences, and Netflix is good at like figuring out what you like and showing you what you like usually,
Right, so you don't see a lot of Haters Back Off showed up,
It did.
But them and Hulu
that's probably 'cause it was like,
and
this is our
YouTube,
stuff. Check out everything we've
exactly,
made.
and
this
Google,
is a big
they're
old
all
row of stuff that we've done.
And Hulu, every time they do that, I'm like, yes, please. I have watched, I think, like almost every Hulu original at this point, not in its entirety.
Wasn't Misfits a Hulu original?
It was something that they picked up. And made like a season. I actually think that was Netflix, not Hulu, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's definitely Hulu. It's definitely not Netflix.
I'd have to look into that.
Yeah.
But I did watch a lot of the Misfits, but it existed like before the streaming service, and then it was like a Arrested Development type thing where they produced like the last season of it. So sad that it's often the last season.
Yeah.
Hopefully not so for Arrested Development. There have been rumblings of maybe
of another one.
But
yeah, that last Netflix season of Arrested Development was really very, very different from the original series.
I enjoyed it.
Versions.
I didn't think it was that different.
It was very different though. I mean, it wasn't. It definitely you could like once you start watching it from that point, it's like a very different tone from the original show. Like it's, it's still funny and still good, but it's a very
face block, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
What about Fuller House?
I did not watch that.
I have not yet.
I've heard that was terrible.
Brian,
didn't either, though.
I did watch it. It wasn't as good.
Thumbs up.
But it's like it's one of those nostalgia things. It's like
thumbs up.
3 thumbs up for sure.
There's
You
certain,
got it, dude.
and this is the same way with games. Same exact way with games. You could go back and play certain games that you have this super fond memory of. For me, let's say Glover. On the N64.
That's a good game.
Super fond memories of that game.
Good game.
For some reason, I had 2 copies of it. I think I thought I had lost it at one point, and then like got it again,
No, it was
and then
that
found
good.
the
It
other.
was
So
that
I
good.
had
It was
2.
worth
I
owning
still have
twice.
2
You need to
copies
have
of
two.
Glover to this day, and I went back to play that game. I had the old N64 dusted off
What if
and
it's just
out,
duplicating though? Like you go home, and there's 4 copies.
and I was like, maybe this wasn't, So if they made Glover 2 now. Even if it was like a really true sequel, an amazing sequel, Glover House, like I don't know that it would be welcome.
That's interesting. That's like it's kind of like saying like the stuff that we loved when we were kids is maybe not as great as we thought it was. And a lot of times that happens. Like I went back, oh my god, I went back to watch like Spawn the other day.
Okay.
Oh my god, that movie's terrible. I loved that movie when I was a kid. I loved it so much. But man, if you watch it today, like first of all, the CGI is one of the worst things I've ever seen in a movie ever. Like the big demon thing that shows up, like, oh my god, it's so bad. And it's like I would never have said that 2 days ago, Before I was like,
oh, you're like, dude, I love that
is a great
movie. Oh my god,
that's an excellent,
so
that's such a good
edgy,
movie.
so amazing,
so good, But no, man, there are some things from back then that you just shouldn't watch again because like it's better, it's sweeter in the memory than it is in real life.
I don't know. And sometimes you go back with your new critical eye, like, that you've developed with all these years.
Yeah.
And it's an even better experience. Like, we went back and we
That's
got
true.
nostalgia because of Tom Cruise. We went back and watched The Mummy.
Yeah.
And that movie, I never would have picked up on this, like, as a kid in any way or, like, when I originally watched it. But it has more in common with like 1940s movies, like cinema, than it does to like movies that come out today and came out yesterday. Yeah. It is so like classic, and so like the sets are very obviously like when you look at them now, like built in Hollywood, like in a warehouse and stuff like that. Like they didn't go on location for almost any of it. It seems like watching it,
I gotta watch that again.
or like a very little, bit of it. And I mean, like wow, it was still really good. Going back and watching it, have not watched the Tom Cruise one.
I haven't seen it either.
Don't plan on it.
Is it all right?
Yeah.
I'll go watch it for sure. I did see Wonder Woman though, and that was excellent.
So, well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
On to the next topic, though. So, more nostalgia. We found out within the last week, since the recording of the last podcast, what was it, noon on Friday last week?
Yeah.
In the middle of the week.
Yeah.
We found out
dropped at noon.
the Super Nintendo Classic is real. Mm-hmm. It's out there in the wild. It's $79.99.
Yep.
And it comes with 2 controllers.
With longer cords.
With longer cords.
Oh man!
So you can only hang yourself if you actually get one, though. That's the problem.
I think they're already gone.
Yeah, and they're saying that they are aware of the supply issues with the first one.
Yep.
So it will be more readily available. Wink,
but
maybe
only,
we'll see.
But only this year.
But only this year.
Yeah.
So they were upfront about that at least. And man, that lineup of games is all you could ever wanted and more for me. I heard rumbling. You said earlier, like Chrono Trigger's not going to be on there. They already remade it on DS. There's other ways to play Chrono Trigger.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Star Fox 2 is going to be on there.
Yeah,
like,
all 2 levels of Star Fox 2.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fine. But you know what I mean? For them to say, for them to say like, hey, we have this like unreleased game that's like infamous and. Here, you can just We're just going to throw it in. You know what I mean?
I read a story that the creator of Star Fox 2 was so surprised that they put it on there because it's not finished. He didn't know. He's like, wow, that's really cool, but it's not finished.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to at least give it a try. I wonder what the multiplayer is like, or if it exists. Because I love the multiplayer on Star Fox 64.
Star Fox 2 is better than No Man's Sky.
We should do which games were finished. Star Fox 2.
Yeah, they finished it. They did.
Yeah, it was said that they completed development
just last week.
So
just last week.
But I mean, and these are like
this whole time.
What is the original Mario Party and Kart are on there? Or
Mario Party
was 64. Yeah, Mario Party was 64. Mario Kart is on there.
Mario Kart.
But and there's other multiplayer games. Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at how good it
What
looks.
a great looking game.
Super Castlevania 4.
It's honestly worth it. It's worth it just for Mario RPG.
So I was just reading down the list, and like Earthbound is on there. Nintendo finally is like, people want this stuff.
Yeah.
F-Zero's on there. I'm happy about F-Zero.
Earthbound, you guys think that's a good game? All right.
Yeah. All right, I guess. We'll release it.
If you think it's a good game. We didn't think you Americans would like that sort of thing.
But, obviously, this has started the conversation.
I'd love to see Mother 3 on there. That'd be great.
Yeah, but,
Never.
So is this going to be,
Switch Virtual
for
Console?
some time,
I would love
an
that.
annual thing for Nintendo? We saw a Nintendo Classic last year. We saw the Super Nintendo Classic this year. Are we going to see the N64 next year?
It would be smart, but I don't think so.
I think we'll see it this year.
So why or why not? We can go down the line. So you don't think so?
I don't think so because I don't think they're going to turn this into an annual thing. I think it would be smart and it would generate a lot of revenue for them. But
well, they don't have that many years. You know what I mean? You can do GameCube and Wii.
Well, I don't think they'd ever
after
do
that,
GameCube. There's only so much they could do with GameCube.
That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
I think like if they are gonna do another one, like then N64 is probably.
N64 would have to be the end of it, unless they did like Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
And put all 11 games out.
Yeah, or like Game Boy. Now you can finally play up on your TV without like a super hard to find adapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they should just release like VR like on like.
They should
like,
just redo the
HTC
Virtual Boy.
Vive, like all the Virtual Boy games. Virtual Boy collection.
No, but I mean, in all reality,
they can collect digital dust.
So N64
Digital dust.
for now, for our generation, this is the
N64,
last like nostalgic console.
Yep.
So the one that you can get that like big nostalgia by for.
Yep.
But the issue is, a lot of the games that we have a lot of nostalgia for aren't Nintendo first party.
Sure.
We have a lot of rare games. Banjo Kazooie and Tooie.
Yeah,
we have GoldenEye, the 007.
Yep.
Perfect Dark is another rare game. And there's other third-party stuff on there, like Glover and things like that, that might not be as hard to license.
No Mercy in WrestleMania 2000.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are some of the most beloved wrestling games of all time.
But with the original NES Classic and the new SNES Classic, have they all pretty much been first-party titles?
No.
So there's been some third-party
But
stuff.
these are going to be...
Castlevania 4 is on the SNES. Final Fantasy 3/6 is on the SNES.
So we have third-party titles that are on there. Some surprising. Some more surprising than others.
Yeah.
I think Rare might be a kind of hard license to get because Microsoft essentially has control of them now.
Donkey Kong Country on the SNES.
Yeah, and then like Donkey Kong 64, which I think they still have the rights to.
I think so, because it's Donkey Kong.
You know?
They just don't have Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah, they just don't have Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie and those sorts of things. But I mean,
so is this going to be a serious roadblock for them, or do them and Microsoft or them and whomever have a good enough relationship that they're going to let them produce
Smash
this
4 came out, like, and everyone was like voting on what characters to pick. Right?
Banjo
won. Banjo Kazooie was one one of the top picks.
I think it actually won, but they couldn't do it.
Yeah, they didn't do it. And like I think it was like Phil Spencer that came out and said that that he was like, if they wanted to come to us and work with us to get Banjo Kazooie and Smash, we would love that.
Yeah, Nintendo just didn't do it.
He said that, but Nintendo did not reach out to them. They just didn't even try it.
That's tough.
You know? So yeah, and they said, like, they specifically said, like, we will try to pick whatever character we can, but there are adult issues that we have to deal with, you know, in this. They use the word adult, you know, they're like adult problems.
Nintendo being down to earth.
Yeah, I know, right? And like, so, I don't know. I think adults at least talk about it, you know, instead of just.
But I mean, and we've seen a lot of remasters of these other games, and not that we haven't on some that we've seen on the other platforms.
Yeah.
I mean, even like I think Balloon Fight and stuff like that are on the NES Classic. You could play those like in Virtual Console in Animal Crossing if you had them like in your house in Animal Crossing. You could sit there and plug in your NES and
you
play
Zelda
games
on
like
it in Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So they had like, you know, they've re-released like stuff like this in small ways and through Virtual Console and other stuff. But I think that's the biggest like library of games that they've already re-released. And the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask 3D on the 3DS, and those are your big bombshells for the N64.
Well, you can get Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie on the Xbox One and the PC. No, you can't even get on PC. It's just Xbox One.
Yeah, it's just Xbox One.
Rare
but like,
exclusive.
I would love to see Nintendo do because I don't think that we're gonna see another SNES like N64 like classic console. I don't think so.
I agree.
Because I think that they're gonna stick to doing like Virtual Console on current consoles with that. You know, like I think they'll
or
release,
it's gonna have
like,
cartridges, like just smaller cartridges,
or they'll
release so good. No, you know, that's how it's gonna happen.
I think that they want like that generation and up to still be available on like the current consoles.
You know what I'd like to see is like, okay, they do the SNES Classic this year. Next year is the NES Classic 2. Where it's
and it's 30 different games.
30 different games.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then they just
units.
alternate every other.
Here's the bottom line, though. If the PSP couldn't emulate it, they're not going to release a mini console for it.
For what?
That's a good guideline. If the PSP could not emulate it, they're not going to release a mini console for it.
There's emulators out there for the N64.
No, but it stopped being good at that. Like, you could do it, but it was garbage.
Yeah.
You know?
You can do it on PC, but it's still garbage.
Well, this is their... Correct me if I'm wrong, or if you guys can correct me, or in the comments, and, you know, so on and so forth. But the N64 is their first, like, foray into, like, 3D.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like 3D gaming in its infancy in a big way.
It's just like Mario Kart a little bit, man, a little bit.
2.5D,
2.5D and stuff like that.
Kind of.
But I mean, true 3D where you're running around and there's a second analog stick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To control the camera.
For sure.
I mean, there's a camera that moves even in games like that are, you know, I guess 2.5D like Resident Evil 2 and stuff like that came out on the N64. I don't know. It's a tough one. I would definitely go for it if they made it.
I'd buy it too, but I just don't.
I want to have an SNES Classic.
That would be the first one that I would be super excited about if they really released
the N64.
Yeah, the N64 one, because that was my like first console, the N64.
Yeah. After the Sega Genesis, that was me. So, but that was something I always played at like my relative's house, like my cousin's house and stuff like that, and neighbors, and like that was like my first like big like foray into gaming, I guess, was that. And I was like, whoa, like playing GoldenEye multiplayer and playing, you know, having my own like little save file and Ocarina of Time at like someone's house. That was like big. So.
I said the same thing about the Atari 2600 when I was like 3.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, I mean, back in '89, I mean, that's what we had. We had that, and then we got the NES in '90s. So
the problem with the N64 Mini is the amount of controllers they'd have to produce. Everybody would need 4 controllers.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
N64?
Yeah, the controller would be
it would have to
more
come with
system.
4.
That's the thing.
You think?
So it'd be like $150.
All the like, Mario Party games, people would want to play Mario Kart.
And that controller...
they wouldn't do it.
They're not doing it. No. They don't have that many
and that
joysticks.
big old like, Yeah, no way.
No. That big honking thing.
Nope.
You don't think they're gonna redesign the N64 controller for the N64 Classic?
It's like really small. You're just like.
Yeah, I don't know how they would do it. That's definitely a hurdle for them.
For sure.
The third-party licensing, like it's even hairier, I think. And then we're getting
between all of that stuff. I really don't think they're gonna do that. I really don't think so.
So you just alternate the NES and the SNES every other year. Different games.
Yeah, but if they got like all the good games, like all the really good games on NES in the first
you gotta pace
one,
yourself.
you know, like and they do the second one, there's like 50 more games, and there's like
so are we gonna get an NES?
In there,
No, but are we gonna get an NES Classic Edition extension cable too? What that's like twice as long as the original extension cables. God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Who knows?
Would that devalue or increase the value of the original NES Classic?
Does the NES Classic use like the original connector or just a new weird?
No, it's the same thing that hooks in from like a nunchuck to a Wii remote.
Oh God, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those weird ass connectors.
Well, maybe you can find a nunchuck extender somewhere.
You can.
You can. Yeah. That's the same thing that they did, but they just rebranded it as an NES Classic cable extender.
And they did actually release that?
Yeah, well, and you could get like the classic controller from the Wii, and it would work on there, but only as like second player. Right. You had to have the controller that came in the box for first player, and then you could use the other one as second player.
That's crazy.
So, I don't know. I hope. I can only hope, but I'm gonna say yes. They will make it next year. That's gonna be the release title for it, and then we're gonna see the GameCube Classic the year after. Super Classic, baby.
And then the Wii Classic.
Just imagine a little mini GameCube.
And then the Wii.
It's not a lunchbox anymore. It's just like a bangle that you can hang on like a necklace. It's a bling item, you know, like off of a chain.
All the way up to the Wii U.
Rather than keeping your lunch. Yeah, the Wii. I don't know about the Wii and the Wii U. That's a little too soon for now to be doing like nostalgic remasters, but. 5 years down the road, I guess that thing is going to be.
We're due for a Breath of the Wild remake.
Yeah. And that actually brings us into our next thing. So, I guess this is time for the SuperGen Nintendo Switch quarterly update. This thing has been out for 3 months now, almost to the date when this podcast comes out, I think. And what's everybody doing with their Switch right now? Mine is collecting a heck of a lot of... Well, it would be collecting dust if it weren't in a nice carrying bag I got with the Zelda Collector's Edition. Yeah. But
mine's in the same
I have
bag.
not turned it on in over a month.
It makes a nice doily.
It's not a doily in any way.
I think the last time I turned mine on was mid-May, Mario Kart.
Yeah, same. It's been like 2 weeks. Mario Kart just playing. But, like, Has Been Heroes is just sitting there in cellophane. I bought that recently when it was on sale.
Oh, yeah?
But I'm waiting for Splatoon 2 is, like, right around the corner, and that'll rejuvenate some life back into it.
Hopefully.
I was hoping ARMS would excite me, but I lost excitement as it got closer to release.
Yeah. I never had excitement in ARMS from the beginning. It just never interested me. And, like,
we gotta wait for ARMS 2. We talked about this in a previous podcast. Like, Splatoon, I think I rented it, like, checked it out, and took it home. And was like, oh, you can't play split screen multiplayer with this? It's a multiplayer like centric game? Cool. And just returned it. Like, did not even play any of the mode or anything else in it. I was just like, what were they possibly thinking? I mean, Splatoon, because I've got all my buddies like sitting on the couch, like, all right, like we're ready to play, and then just
this Nintendo, right? I mean, this is what we do.
Nobody can play this.
With
me.
Mean,
all right.
I recently picked up Mario Kart. I haven't even turned on the Switch to play Mario Kart on my actual Switch yet. Like the last time I turned on my Switch was to finish up Breath of the Wild. That was the last time. And I finished up finding all the memories, and that was the last thing I did.
That's it.
So it's the end of the game.
I mean, that being said, the Switch not getting our love lately, there is a lot of hope.
Oh, I bought the Neon Joy-Cons too, and they're sitting in the box. I was just like, these are going to be rare, so I bought them.
The yellow ones?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I haven't taken them out of the box yet.
Those are hideous.
But I mean, we've got Splatoon right around the corner.
Yeah.
They have been relentlessly releasing like Nindy trailers and titles, like new games that are coming out to the Wii Shop channel, the Switch like download channel. You know what I mean? The Switch Shop channel. New games coming out for that. And then Breath of the Wild DLC comes out yesterday or no today. As of this podcast being up.
It's pretty good.
This morning.
It's great.
Great.
I already finished it.
I haven't. You have not finished it yet, Brian.
I know.
But be sure to check out a review on that, maybe. Gotta get all the new Korok seeds. No, I don't think they're adding any.
Still waiting on Joe to get those.
Please no.
Yeah, Joe, how far are you along?
I'm at like 43.15%.
Oh my god.
Not good enough.
And I think I have like 300 core XEs or something.
Jeez.
That's wild.
600 to go.
300 core XEs.
Why are you
and
doing this to yourself?
43% of the game.
It's all about the golden
I gotta
turd.
have that golden poop.
All about the golden turd.
No, but I mean, like, this looks like legitimately exciting content. I'm actually, for the game right now, my big complaint and why I set it down and did not even, like, finish Ganon, because I just felt, like, kind of forced in to going to Hyrule, an area that I avoided for the whole game, because it seemed like the least interesting, like, part of it. Because they had the audacity when I turned it on to say, go there, okay? You know? Go right there. And I said, nope.
By far, like, the most interesting area in the whole game.
No.
Like Hyrule Castle is the most interesting area.
Which I am excited to play.
In my opinion.
But the issue was, I just hit this, like, ceiling where I was like, I'm never going to die. I have this food that gives me 30 extra hearts or something obscene like that. I have, like, all the weapons I could ever want, and as soon as one's about to break, I already have 2 to choose from that are laying on the ground in front of me.
Your game.
I haven't really done a lot of amiibo scanning.
Let's talk about the restock. I got Guardians.
Amiibo restock. Oh, you have your Guardian now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I got them all
you did.
now.
I saw.
That's our.
Yeah.
I remember on release day, and I think I said this on the podcast. I looked that in the eye. There was all these like amiibo like laid out, and I was like, I just want him to hold me in his big strong arms. Like I love that. I love that it was the first. I think that's the first amiibo you can actually like bend. That's meant to be bent and not just like breaking it. Like,
what if he was like?
Oh my god!
He had an AI abilities.
No, it's not the first one you can bend, but the first one you're supposed to bend.
Oh my god! And then it's like a small soldiers kind of thing happens.
Yeah, exactly. No, it like came to life. You know, it locked onto my heart. And it just gave me a big
Guardian
embrace.
In the cupboard. We should make that movie Guardian in the cupboard. Like you need in the cupboard.
Oh no! But no, it was just a really great looking amiibo, exciting amiibo, and I think it gives you good stuff in the game. I don't know. It drops a bunch of metal boxes.
It looks better on the shelf.
it looks better in my arms, but what can I say? Product placement for Nintendo there.
Yeah,
Thank you for your sponsorship for ARMS. Really appreciate that.
Yep.
But yeah, no, this, like, you hit the ceiling where you're just like, I've got it all. I've done it all. Yeah. Like, I am unstoppable. I am the hero. And they are adding the thing I'm most excited for is this hard mode or like hero mode difficulty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, master mode, is that what it's called? So, I want to play in master mode. I'm even willing to start a new file, just start from scratch, to go back and experience this game again as a master.
All right,
that's what it's for. It's for people who have mastered the game.
What are the details of this master mode? Do we know exactly like what it does to the game? Like, does it just make the like bad guys hit harder?
It's Dark
and you
Souls
have less
mode, yeah.
Yeah, it makes it the Dark Souls of the Zelda series.
It already was.
It already was the Dark Souls of the Zelda series, but it's the Dark Souls New Game Plus.
Because this is what they did with like
more Blood Moons,
like Wind Waker and like
more Blood Moons. No, dude, that's not what we need. That's not what we need.
The entire game is one.
But here's the thing. This is what I'm saying.
How do they calculate when a Blood Moon is going to happen? I would love to know.
I feel like
I feel like people have done research
so random.
on
this.
I swear it's so random. I'm sure it's based on something. But like what I'm saying is like when like Wind Waker HD first came out, like they added this like hero mode into Wind Waker HD, which was basically just all they did was they made the.
Isn't it that people don't drop hearts?
Yeah, it's that you can't find hearts anywhere, and the dudes do like more damage. No, that doesn't make it interesting to me. Like that's like I liked like Master Quest from like Nintendo 64, you know? Like in Master Quest, they took the game and they reworked the dungeons and they made them harder and more interesting and like 'cause they made the puzzles harder to solve.
If they added sub-bosses to the Guardian Beasts,
yeah,
it's done. Oh my gosh, give me some character, baby.
Yeah.
Give me a frog that, you know, rides around
in a Mario hat.
Yeah.
In a Mario hat, yeah.
Or on a bike, yeah.
It's Dat Boy. Yeah, on a unicycle. That'd be great. Give me some character in these levels. Yeah. Like, let me differentiate them. Let me be excited to go into a dungeon. Like, it was the most interesting and exciting part of the games back in the day, and make that interesting again.
Yeah.
That was my least favorite part about
to
Breath
make
of the
the
Wild.
dungeons
or the dungeons
more interesting, like more difficult puzzles to solve. That would be great. You know, that's what I would be more interested in.
There were some head scratchers, but it was usually like, oh, is that how the mechanics of the game work? Like, I think like you had to have fire arrows for this one puzzle, I remember, or you had to like walk up to a torch and like stick your arrow into it and then shuffle over and then like shoot it through like a doorway. I remember that being like one of the hardest puzzles I had to solve because you had to like burn a bunch of vines. And it was like, but how do I get to that?
Yeah, it's
and I had like a fire rod in my inventory and was like throwing it at it. And
I remember
like, there's only one way to do it.
One of the actual shrines was like the big cube that you had to rotate, and it had these fires on the side, right? And you have to rotate it so that you and there's water on the bottom. There's water on the bottom, so if it gets to the bottom, it goes out, right? So like the puzzle is how to rotate it to set all the fires without actually putting any of them out. And the solution, turns out, is just to shoot them all with fire arrows.
Yeah.
You know,
so easy.
Over.
And you don't have to rotate it at all.
You don't have to rotate it at all. You just win. You know, like, oh, man. But, yeah, I just love that there were, like, secondary ways to solve some of those. But that one felt kind of cheap.
It's like your game.
Like,
what game?
Play to win or press to win.
And press to win. Yeah, it's been in development. Just a cool graphic comes up on screen. You're a cool guy.
You're a cool guy.
Great job.
Congratulations.
It's like, good job, man.
You're so good.
I win.
You win. You know, it became like a press to win kind of game. And I loved, like, that was the thing that attracted to me so much at the beginning was, wow, this is a tough Zelda game. You know, I died when I started off that game. I was scavenging for sticks at certain points, and I love that there was, you know what I mean, to like beat up dudes with.
Yeah.
And I love that there was that one island that you got to just tucked away in the corner where they took everything away from you. It was an actual challenge.
Yeah, I didn't try that one. That's
Eventide, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Eventide Island. Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I still got to walk into a shrine, dispense orb here, dispense same cutscene here, you know, just to do it. And it was like, oh, why couldn't the orb just be sitting on a pedestal at the top of it? You know what I mean? Like, why did they have to make me do the exact same thing again? Give me that repetition when it was the most interesting, like, an exciting shrine of the game, even though it wasn't the shrine itself.
Right.
You just walk forward and pick up a chest and then walk forward and get the orb.
I mean, that basically is the shrine. A lot of the shrines are literally just puzzles outside of the shrine. Then you get inside the shrine and they're just like, here's an orb, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Don't step on the flowers.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. I wanted to kill her.
Wait, what now?
It's just like
that's one of the puzzles.
One of the puzzles is just like this chick like standing outside this huge maze of flowers, and she's like, "Don't step on my flowers, bro." And then you just gotta like walk through it without stepping on the flowers, and if you do, she'll just yell at you, and you just teleport to the outside.
Well, that's
ridiculous.
I have not encountered that one yet.
Yeah.
Please tell me the name of this shrine.
Upsetting.
Is it the Va-Ki-Wi?
Yeah, something like that.
Shrine?
Sounds about right. Yeah, I think that's the one. I think that's the one.
The
Gab.
But yeah, so there is hope out there in the future.
Yeah.
I hope that moving forward with games like Splatoon 2 and Mario Odyssey and the Zelda DLC, it's going to breathe life back into the system for me and take it off of the shelf.
Fire Emblem Warriors.
You know, Fire Emblem Warriors might get me played.
Warriors. Fire Emblem Warriors.
And
count me in.
And of course,
Mario Rabbids.
When that comes out. Mario Rabbids. I'll play Mario Rabbids. Like, that looks good. That looks like a really cool,
that's like
like,
game of the year.
Do you think it'll be better than Mario Odyssey?
100%.
How legitimately upset do you think Nintendo would be if people liked Mario Rabbids? It was higher, like critically acclaimed than Mario Odyssey.
IGN 10 out of 10 because there's Mario's in it.
For a crossover game, like that'd be so unreal. But it's possible. It could happen.
It's the Peach Rabbit with the selfies. That's what does it.
Who has her own Instagram now?
She has her own Instagram?
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta download Instagram just to follow that.
Yeah. I have to follow.
What if then she only follows one person and it's you?
That would change my world.
That's what I mean.
Oh my gosh.
You gotta do it.
What a freaking hottie that rabbit is.
She's coming after you.
She gets me going. Yeah, she slides into the Instagram messages.
Hey.
What's up, baby? I'm the wild princess or something like that. The sassy queen. Oh no.
We should make chills.
I know, we should make the Mario one and then DM it, and then that's how.
Oh man.
Yeah, if they created that and we're foolish enough to not create the other characters, like we have to make those right.
We have to make the Mario Rabbit Instagram account, and then we have to just message her constantly.
DK is gonna be where it's at.
And comment on all her posts. Yeah.
Oh, the Bowser,
Luigi.
yeah.
Luigi like messaging the Peach one all the time, like, "Hey girl, what's up? How you doing?"
All right, that's the next step. That's our goal for this week.
Remember me?
And that, I think, is all I had planned for this week's episode. It was a very late news week, but very exciting week in our lives.
Always.
Tell me why.
Always.
I always like to leave it open at the end of the podcast. If anyone has anything anything that they wanted to talk about or any games they've been playing. Floor is yours, guys.
I'm about to start Crash Bandicoot Trilogy Remaster.
Oh, okay, the Insane Trilogy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Heard nothing but good things.
It
It's a
looks
classic good
really
game.
good.
Bandicoot
Yeah.
games.
I'm about to start that, so I'm excited to try
Legitimately,
it.
it's on the Twitter that we were literally just looking at. Like it's like the Dark Souls Twitter, where it's like the Dark Souls of.
Oh yeah,
this.
pimp that out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
X Dark Souls.
And
is what it's
it's
called,
X
right?
meets Dark Souls. Or something
X
like
meets
that.
Dark
the
Souls.
top
Yeah.
like thing right now is that game, and like someone reviewed it, and they were like, it's like the Dark Souls of Crash Bandicoot. You know.
Seriously, follow that Twitter account. It's so good. So good.
And I hope this has a lot of success, and we get like Crash Nitro Kart and
Crash
like
Team
Crash
Racing?
Bash.
GTR.
Yeah,
I just want
Crash
Diddy
Team
Kong
Racing.
Crash Bash was like a
Bash.
PS1 classic, baby.
Yeah.
It was
Is
like
more
Mario Party before, well, maybe not before Mario Party, but at a similar time to
Oh, it's
Mario
better than
Party.
Mario Party.
I'm hoping it's
It's like
definitely the
Sonic Shuffle.
resurrection.
It was like Rio. The classic game for the Xbox 360. Viva Pinata Party Animals, the
my
classic
goodness.
game for Xbox 360
Muppet
before
Party
they
Cruise,
released.
yeah.
Yeah. It was just nothing but mini games.
Video
and-
games.
Yeah. Lots and lots of mini
Mario
games.
games.
And they introduced like new characters like Tiny and stuff like that were in it. Like, man, what a great game.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Hopefully this will lead to the Spyro Trilogy remaster.
Ooh, I'm down, man.
I'd be down,
I
too.
love me some Ripto's Rage.
I'd be down.
I want to go back and play them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited for you to play that.
Yeah,
And
I'm excited to jump in.
get a Spyro, man.
I'm getting excited.
I'll try. I'll do what I can.
Write it in the
Yeah.
review. Just a little note, like to Sony.
Note.
Hey,
P.S.
if
please
you
bring
were
Spyro.
to make Spyro remastered, we might give it a higher review.
Wink, wink.
we might adjust our review accordingly since
forced
it
wink.
inspired the release.
Please follow us on
Forced awake.
Instagram, and then it's a Luigi account.
All right, and with that, I'm Alex.
I'm Andy.
Ryan.
Brian.
And thanks for taking the
And
time to
Daisy.
hang out with us, guys. We will catch you next time on the SuperGen Podcast. And shouts out to Wave Shaper for that excellent intro. And later, right now,
And now.
right now, outro music. Wouldn't forget about you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe because that would be awesome. And if you're interested, check out our other videos here, and subscribe over there. Really helps us out. I appreciate it. Catch you in the next one.